Hey, Ryan, how the hell are you?
Good, and you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Before we start the show today, let me put you on the spot and ask you to tell the listener right now why they should be consuming this podcast on youtube.com.
Because your boy's bank account has AIDS.
What does that mean?
Like it's dying?
I'm regretting asking you to do this.
Can't say that on the air?
I just wanted you to come over here and tell the people why they should listen on YouTube as opposed to Spotify or Apple Podcast.
Because we are broke.
Folks, if you go listen on YouTube, we get paid if you listen on YouTube.
Yeah, doesn't that say the same thing?
The channel is monetized, so when you listen on YouTube, fractions of pennies go into our bank account, and we would appreciate it if you used that listening platform as opposed to any other until we get Spotify and Apple monetized. If you can't be bothered to do that, no problem. We still want you to listen to the episode, but if you can make the switch, that would be great.
Is this live?
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you for your help.
You bet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite golf podcast, emphasis on golf. This is The Fellowship, and my absolute favorite thing about this show is knowing that a bunch of Lord of the Rings dorks have probably started a few episodes looking to get their high fantasy fix, only to hear the crude musings of two guys who prefer J.R. golf carts to J.R.R. Tolkien.
Boy, you could say that again. Would you really consider this a golf podcast?
I don't know. It's definitely not the Fellowship of the Ring podcast, which I believe probably confuses a lot of people when they look it up on Spotify or Apple iTunes. So to those people, I say, you want Frodo? We've got Faldo. Looking for Gandalf? We've got Pro Golf. Want us to talk Elrond? We talk Eldrick.
I don't know any of those
These
things.
jokes are so good and so well researched, right down to correctly identifying the genre of high fantasy, that it's a shame no one listening to this iPod broadcast, including yourself, will get them. But that is the motto around here. It's a shame no one gets it.
Everyone knows, big sci-fi guy, might be the biggest. One of my buddies was trying to make the argument a while back that you watch The Lord of the Rings. I was like, nah, I'm not really into that stuff. You know, he's like, but you like Star Wars and stuff. And I was like, yeah. He's like, it's the same thing. It's sci-fi. I was like, no, it's not. There's a difference between sci-fi and fantasy. There's a reason why there's Fantasyland in Disneyland, and then there's Tomorrowland. So just for those viewers out there, I'm not a Lord of the Swings.
That was a good joke. It should have been
Was it?
Lord of the Swings.
Lord of
Yeah.
the Swings. Well, what are you going to do?
Well, there's that golf pun I was looking for.
Yeah.
In comparing Lord of the Rings
Well,
to...
maybe on Sunday nights I should come up to Fullerton in my wife beater and my chonies and my slides because you're just dripping in sweat because it's hotter than Hades up there this time of year. Come over to the old garage
Yep.
and help you write some of these takes, man. Maybe you need me more than you think.
Maybe. Hello, folks. I'm your host, Adam Hawk. I'm delighted to be joined by the CEO and founder of Nation Golf, Mr. Ryan Engle.
Did you just interrupt me to introduce me?
Did I interrupt you to introduce you? Absolutely not. I let you finish your sentence, and then I introduced you.
There was some overlap.
Want to talk overlap?
Yeah.
There it was, right there.
Well, that's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. The listener is excited.
I have a plethora of topics on the table. Plethora.
Okay.
Lot to talk about today, but I'm unsure if there is a main course. So this is more of a charcuterie board than a 7-course meal. Does that make sense? There's a lot to pick at, but I don't know that anything stands out above the rest. Similar to a charcuterie board, I want to talk about Scottie Scheffler winning the Travelers Championship first, only because I am so damn bored by this topic. I want to get it over with. This is like eating vegetables before dessert, to keep the food analogy alive. Here's what I have written down in my extremely high-level professional podcast script that I lean on for every episode and that takes me hours to write. You ready for this take?
Yes.
5 words. Scottie Scheffler, blah, blah, blah. All right, back to you.
Oh, man. If this was Tiger Woods, you would be in line at the tattoo parlor, ready to, like, cement this incredible run. You'd have a name for it. The media would be going nuts. But here we are.
This is why I'm bored by it. Not because of Scotty Scheffler, but because you and I have had this exact same discussion 6 times this year.
I know.
You've said that same line to me.
It's the feeling of greatness.
Every line that I have written down, I've said before. This is why I don't want to talk about it anymore. If I must, allow me to drop the needle on this very broken record. Scotty Scheffler wins again. This time it's the Travelers Championship at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. At one point in the early stages of the back nine on Sunday, there was a 7,000-way tie for the lead at 19 under par, which shows you how much of a video game men's pro golf has turned into. But then right around the 13th hole, Scotty got tired of playing with his food and proved something that we should all know by now. He's better than everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even close.
I'm not a stat guy. I don't have the stats in front of me. I'm not going to Brandel Chambly you to death here and look at my notes with all the prep I did last night. I would guess that his proximity to the hole in regulation is probably the best on tour. Look, I didn't watch a lick of golf. I was busier than shit this weekend. Had a great weekend with the family. You love to hear it. That being said, saw some replays. And it's just Stuff City for that guy. It's Stuff City, USA, party of one. It's going in the turkey, and he's throwing it in the oven. It's just stuffing all the way.
He is suffocatingly good, and I mean that literally. He will silently suffocate the rest of the field by his inability to make a mistake. Just him playing his golf requires everyone around him to play perfect golf. And they can't do it. Patrick Cantlay, Tony Finau, and that extremely goofy goofball Akshay Bhatia were all tied for the lead with Scotty on the back nine, and all of them finished 4 shots back.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Imagine being tied with a guy on the 13th hole, 5 holes left in front of you, and you finish 4 shots back.
Can't coach him.
Cannot coach with him.
Can't play with him.
Cannot play with him.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
When Scotty poured in 3 straight birdies on 13, 14, and 15, these guys made pars and bogeys because he's him and they are them. And there's nothing else to say about it. In a time of men's pro golf where the equipment has made everyone as close to equal as they have ever been, and it's damn near impossible to find even the smallest edge, and there's so much parity because of it, Scotty Scheffler is somehow in a league of his own. And at this point, we're just piling on to things that you've already heard. Scotty continues to join elite clubs that only Tiger and Jack and Arnie and Bobby Jones are in. He continues to add money to his season earnings record, and his caddy, Ted Scott, just made more money this past week than anyone in the field who finished 16th or worse. And for the year, Ted Scott has made nearly $3 million, which is more than 75% of pro golfers who have teed it up in 2024.
Unreal.
It's crazy. It's historic. It's boring. It's Scotty Scheffler.
I don't know about that.
Look, Scotty doesn't owe me anything. He doesn't have to fist pump or be Bryson DeChambeau or do a Tiger Woods impression, and it's certainly not his fault that no one around him can challenge him. But I don't have to pretend like this doesn't put me to sleep, because it does. And yes, I'm fully aware that Tom Kim made a clutch putt on 18 to force a playoff, just like I'm totally aware that Tom Kim chunked a 100-yard lob wedge right into the bunker and gagged on the most routine shot ever. And if you're in a playoff and your opponent has 2 putts to win, you choked. And Tom Kim choked. Nice kid, loved the attitude, liked the game. He certainly held his own until he didn't. And just to be really clear, Scotty Scheffler took a 3-wood off the box during the playoff hole. Tom Kim hit driver. Tom Kim had 40 less yards on his approach shot and made bogey. Scotty's just dialed.
It's Stuff City.
It's unbelievable.
I know. It's so boring to see just absolutely pressure, pure, awesome golf. If I was a golf fan, I'd be so bored to just see a guy just step up and flush it tight and make putts under pressure. And wow, yawn fest.
Okay, so if you dabble in the lowest form of wit, which is sarcasm, you clearly understand Engle is being sarcastic here. This is a guy saying he is not bored by this dominant run, despite the fact that he didn't watch any of it and was at the beach yesterday.
We're playing pin the tail on the donkey at the same party over and over again here, folks. And I understand why The sheeple see this as boring. And I'll say it again. What I love about Scotty's dominance and this run and his continuation of absolute elite play is that it's exposing the fans who aren't true golfers. Week in and week out. It's lining them up. It's clearing out the garbage. It's a little spring cleaning, and you love to see it.
2 more quick notes from the golf.
Gaff.
Akshay Bhatia. Man, that guy is hard to look at and not laugh. Dude is such a cartoon character. The hair, the glasses, the stupid loud shirts, the joggers, the kicks, the broomstick putter, and the 6'2", 120-pound frame. Normally, I would never clown a guy for how he looks if he can't help it, but Akshay can help it. Get a haircut, put in some contacts, wear a solid colored polo, get some pants that touch the top of your shoe, lose the broomstick putter, eat a cheeseburger.
I bet you he's really good at the worm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I see that guy, I'm like, oh, dude, if you're at a wedding, you know that guy's, okay, clear out. Akshay's going to do the worm.
If Akshay's at a wedding, guarantee he's wearing sneakers with a tux.
Oh, yeah.
No way he put on dress shoes.
Yeah.
Because it's cool to wear sneakers.
Next on ESPN, a bunch of guys who never played sports talking about sports wearing sneakers and a suit.
Yeah.
I think I wore Converse to prom. I'm guilty of it once. And then you look back at those photos and you go, God damn it. Give me the mirrored black glossy rental shoes.
Right.
Where were those? Where was someone in my ear, an older influence going, no, dude.
Right.
Don't wear sneakers.
You're not in a ska band.
Yeah, dude.
You don't wear sneakers with a suit. Anyway, Akshay, we're not here clowning your face. Just want to make that clear. Your goofy look is all on you, and you can change it. Remember, this guy looks like a good nerd who made the tour. Thus, we here at Nation call him Goof Goof, and we'd really like to get that nickname off the ground. It's a tremendous nickname.
I love it.
There was also a scene on the 18th hole when the final group of Scotty, Tom Kim, and Goof Goof made their way to the green. 6 protesters bum-rushed the putting surface, one of them going through a bunker, and 2 of them throwing white and red smoke bombs before all 6 were apprehended and arrested by Cromwell police. And if you're waiting for some super obvious zinger about how if this were in Louisville, the cops would have tackled Scheffler instead and put him in the silver bracelets, you're listening to the wrong show. You're looking for foreplay or Zaire Golf or PGA memes. If hearing the same one-liner 60,000 times is your thing, go follow a meme account or listen to Barstool because they are great at that. Nobody will give you the same obvious popsicle stick joke over and over again like those guys. I tip my hat to them if I wore a hat indoors. A few of the protesters were wearing shirts that said, quote, "No golf on a dead planet." I swear to God, those shirts were more tasteful than anything Malbon has put Jason Day in this year. The protesters all posted $1,000 in bail.
5, I heard.
Well, it probably totaled 5. They will return to Cromwell County Court in July, where they will face criminal mischief and trespassing charges. Now, before I continue, I do want to say, and this is not the obvious Scotty Scheffler joke, it is interesting that their charges are far less than his charges, considering what they did and what he did. A group called Extinction Rebellion is claiming responsibility for the act, and they issued a statement.
Is that really it?
Extinction Rebellion.
Wait. That's it.
That's it.
And they're serious.
Well, wait till you hear the
Extinction Rebellion?
Wait till you hear the statement.
My God.
Wait till you hear the statement.
Oh, give it to me. I cannot wait to hear.
A group called Extinction Rebellion is claiming responsibility for the act, and they issued a statement that read, quote, "Golf, more than other events, is heavily reliant on good weather. Golf fans should therefore understand better than most the need for strong, immediate climate action." End quote.
That's where I disagree. I think golf's a little more fun on a professional level to watch when there's more weather. I'd like to see some tougher conditions for these guys.
Okay, this statement is so awesome. It's so weird, but it's so awesome. The entire point of the protest, according to the statement, was not a protest against golf or the resources needed to maintain a golf course or the pesticides used on the grass that run off into the oceans or the jet fuel burning up the ozone from all the PJs that these players use to get around or the oil companies that the PGA Tour does multi-million-dollar business with. None of that. This was a climate group saying, hey, you guys need good weather for this game, so we're here to draw attention to our movement to hopefully ensure you keep getting that good weather because, hey, man, if the globe keeps warming up, you could lose this game of golf. It is the weirdest protest ever. It was like they thought they were doing golf a favor. Like, make golf 75 degrees again. Was that their point?
Oh, man.
Because I would have bet my life they were coming in to talk about the environmental impact of golf courses on the planet. Nope. They were coming in to say, we don't want to see the planet get so hot that you can't play golf anymore. And because you guys are so reliant on good weather, we're going to protest here as kind of a show of solidarity.
This is where you have to defer to the experts. I'm sure they traveled there on solar equipment and milled and combed their own cotton to sew their own T-shirts and print with sustainable ink. I'm sure they created their own dust bombs from cornstarch that they harvested themselves. So wow. I'm a big believer in sticking to your guns, and I'm glad that they, grow their own coffee beans and grind them by hands with their stone grinder and drip them through their river water. I'm sure they're as sustainable as it gets. So God forbid we see them in line at Starbucks and shopping at Brandy Melvin or whatever the fuck that place is called. What a joke. You want to stand on that hill, you're never going to be able to hide all the hypocrisy of your life. Those guys probably flew there from somewhere, and they're climate activists. What, you don't go on vacation? You don't go on airplanes? Get the fuck out of here. What, are you going to take a Greyhound bus? Walk across the country? Give me a fucking break.
Okay, but everyone in this walk of life, everyone is a hypocrite.
That's why you just got to shut your trap. Okay. You want to be about the change? Do something productive. Getting in front of everyone like that was so silly.
I mean,
so dumb.
I loved it because, one, the shirts were hilarious. Two, after hearing the statement, I think it's really funny that they thought they were doing golf fans a favor. Three, I do love the name of the group a lot, Extinction Rebellion, and I do love them sitting back and, quote, claiming responsibility for the act. You really wanted to put your name on that? You had 6 people run out onto the golf course. Only 2 of them got off smoke bombs, and all 6 were arrested within 45 seconds. That was one of the worst protests ever. They had numbers. 6 people?
I'm impressed that they were knowledgeable enough to know to go out on the green on the last hole.
Yeah.
And did you see how scared the guy was who went in the bunker? He was like, oh, God, don't tackle me. And he started to run away. You're like, you shouldn't be a protester.
They weren't exactly athletes out there.
Yeah.
One guy was in his 70s. Another person looked like they had never laced up a pair of sneakers in their life. They were taken down very quickly. And like I said, 6 of them getting arrested in 45 seconds. I've been to baseball games where someone will go streaking for 2 minutes by themselves. Important to note that the PGA Tour released a statement saying that there was no damage to the green and that the delay was less than 5 minutes long. I bring that up because a lot of people wanted to publicly execute these protesters, which I thought was funny because these same people who were all bent yesterday are the same people who would tell you how great the Waste Management Open is. The same Waste Management Open where the fans have caused delays and course damage for years, the same fans who stop play for 30 minutes every time they throw beer cups on the 16th green and swan dive into bunkers. I am here to tell you right now, you cannot like the Waste Management and have a problem with a 5-minute delay yesterday that didn't cause any damage to the golf course. As soon as you tell me that you're a fan of the Waste Management Open, you lose all right on having any issues with any fan behavior anywhere. That's the deal. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
Right.
We begin with golf course chaos, a wild weekend at the WM Phoenix Open in Scottsdale where there was plenty of rowdy behavior from drunken spectators to ticket holders who got shut out. And tonight, many people are questioning if things went too far this year.
We wanted to compare this year's numbers to last year's. We reached out to Scottsdale Police. They have now told us the numbers. They say over the week, 54 people were arrested, 211 people were ejected. Both of those numbers are more than double last year's.
Last week on the podcast, I said that Bryson DeChambeau might be trying a bit too hard to get everyone to like him. And I said this on the Monday morning right after the U.S. Open, and I pointed to his awards ceremony speech and his bunker raking and all his playing it up for the cameras. I said that I still like the guy, and I do think that he's changed, but I just think he needs to chill a bit because he might have overshot his landing. You might not have agreed with the take, but if you listen to it, it's hard to argue that it wasn't nuanced and fair. This guy can be likable, and he can also be a tryhard at the same time. So we posted that clip on our Fellowship Podcast Instagram page, which all of you should go follow, and I got slaughtered.
Ooh.
Here are some of the responses. Quote, "You sound like a bitter PGA Tour devotee trying to bring down live players. Comical." End quote.
True. Fact check, true. That was a good one. I mean, he's right.
Quote, "Nothing is ever good enough with golf media, if you can even call this podcast golf media. Bryson winning is the best thing to happen to golf in a couple of years. No one will forget this historic victory." End quote. I love that they called us golf media and then said, if you can even call this golf media.
Which you can't.
You cannot.
Yeah.
Quote, "I don't even like Bryson, but that was such a bad take that now you have me in here defending him. Do better." End quote. Quote, "He was standing outside signing autographs till 11 p.m. Great ambassador for the game. You guys should get bent." End quote. Quote, "Bryson is a fan favorite. Golf is changing. Get over it." End quote. And finally, quote, "This take is total bullshit." End quote.
Can you imagine getting that upset about something like that?
No, I could not.
You know what's fun about this podcast? Because my wife all of a sudden is big fan.
Shout out Katie Kai.
Yeah. And she's like, your guys' back and forth in your relationship, you want to listen and it's engaging, right? I think the best part about what we do is we don't agree on most things. And we have this back and forth and we move on to the next thing. And the conflict draws people in, right? Little argument. But I think what's great about what we do here is that we say what we say, we move on to the next thing, and we don't give a shit.
Right.
I'm not mad at you. You're not mad at me.
No.
You've said some stupid things. I've said some stupid things. We both have these weird hills that we want to die on. You love Tiger Woods. I used to love Tiger Woods.
I'm stupid. You're smart. I was wrong. You were right. You're the best. I'm the worst. You're very good looking. I'm not attractive.
All right. As long as you're willing to admit that.
There's this laundry list of back and forth, and at the end of it, we just keep it moving. Take a page out of that book, guys.
Sure.
You don't need to see someone's take about some silly golf tournament and some guy acting silly about it and then get all fucking upset. Could you imagine being a grown man just thumbing your fucking keyboard in the comments? Wherever those guys were, they took time out of their day to get all huffy puffy and take it personal and have a personal opinion about us. Wow.
Yeah.
You need a fucking therapist, dude.
I absolutely love the response that said, quote, "I don't even like Bryson, but your take was so bad that now I'm here defending him."
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Where's the defense?
Yeah.
Was that your closing argument?
Yeah.
You're going to leave it up to the jury now? You idiot. Fucking dumbass.
The mental gymnastics on that one would make Simone Biles blush. I literally said word for word that I still like Bryson, and I said that in the take. The guy came in and said he doesn't like Bryson, but he has to defend him now because my take was so bad. Huh?
What?
Dude just admitted he has a much lower opinion of Bryson than me, but my opinion is so bad that he has to defend a guy
They don't understand.
that
dude.
he doesn't like.
They can't even hear their own bullshit.
That would be like me saying to you, I still like Diet Coke, but this new formula is a little too much for me. And then you come in and say, I don't even like Diet Coke, but your take on the new formula is so bad that now I have to defend Diet Coke. My brain hurts trying to unpack that. You don't like the guy, but you have to defend him to a guy that said he still likes him. I also love the guy telling me to get bent. That is an incredible dismissal phrase that I need to use more.
Get bent.
You think it's the hard seltzers?
Oh, interesting.
You think it's the malt liquor?
The brain rot of this generation.
Honestly, they got some GMO brain going on or something.
There's that. They also vape skittled flavored robot penises instead of smoking cigarettes like adults. I said to one of my friends once that you used to have to earn it. You used to have to earn it, meaning when you wanted to try that first sip of alcohol, you would have to wait until your old man fell asleep, normally at 8 p.m. in the top dog chair, sneak into the garage fridge because that's where he keeps the suds, and you crack open a frosty cold one. You take that first sip, you get the bitter beer face, and you spit it out.
Yeah.
And you got to keep coming back and taking more and more sips until you learn to like it.
You have to convince yourself that you like it.
Exactly. Today's generation walks into their dad's fridge and sees Trulies and White Claws. And they take that first sip, and it's like liquid candy.
Oh, black cherry.
Right. You're not stealing cigarettes from your mom and choking to death trying to inhale it. You're grabbing a vape, which tastes like runts. Remember runts?
Yeah.
Did you like the banana runt? So you've got vapes and you've got seltzers, and everything is engineered for babies with no taste palate.
Yeah.
And then you put them on their phones, you feed them TikTok, and they're addicted to hardcore, weird kink porno. And then that's what we get from this generation, is a bunch of weird people saying, I don't even like Bryson, but now I have to defend him.
Yeah.
To a guy that said he liked him, and the sound is right there in front of them.
You can go in line at the supermarket right now and just get your groceries, and you can just scan the entire building like you're Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator looking for Sarah Connor. You can just scan the whole thing, and you can just pick them out. You're just like, too much porn, too many video games, not enough playtime outside.
Right.
Same thing in the comments. Every now and then we get a hater coming in there saying whatever, you know. You can tell just by the velocity of the verbiage and the structure of it, and just the heightened anxiety that you feel by reading it. You're like, wow, this is a troubled person.
Sure.
I go out around town many places. Never had anyone come up to me and fucking speak to me that way.
Velocity of verbiage is my new favorite term.
There's a velocity to it. You're just like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
dude? Calm down.
Now, the only reason I reset this whole thing, my take and the reaction to it, besides how great the responses were, is because more than a handful of professional golfers and people that work professionally in golf sent me private messages echoing exactly what I said and agreeing with it. So I might not be able to convince the average Barstool knob or a live bot, but I felt pretty good knowing that the people who actually play the game alongside Bryson co-signed on everything I said about Bryson perhaps trying a little too hard.
He found a recipe that has clearly worked for him, and I think he got a little excited. And I don't not agree with you. I can see maybe why. What I want to see is more data, so I want to see how he continues to act.
Okay.
In the moment, I'm like, was it a little much? A little extra? Yeah, but I'm going to give him a pass because it was good for the kids. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But, like, if he keeps acting like freaking Krusty the Clown, I'm going to have a problem.
Yeah, okay. Everyone can have their own opinion. I wasn't telling anyone I was right.
You know what? I'm mad. Let's argue about this. I hate you. You're like, calm down, dude.
Now, keep in mind, I said that the Monday morning after the U.S. Open, only about 12 hours had passed. This guy, Bryson, has been around the globe 3 times, bringing that trophy everywhere and making everyone touch it. The guy walked out on The Tonight Show. And no, I will not mention the name of the horrible host who is pissing on everything Johnny Carson built. But Bryson comes out on The Tonight Show, trophy in hand, walks right on over to the Roots, the house band, and makes them all, one by one, touch the trophy while they're playing a song.
I'd rather him do that than the host sing karaoke.
That's fine, but Bryson, they're the Roots. They don't know you or care about you or that trophy. They're one of the most important and influential groups of all time. They've played at the White House and met every important person ever. They don't need some stranger forcing them to touch a piece of hardware they've never seen just so you can get that moment on television. All that being said, sure would have been nice to see Bryson at the Travelers yesterday and not on the CW playing fake golf for nobody between reruns of Smallville and the Gilmore Girls. Speaking of live, Jon Rahm, golf's biggest, grumpiest, cold bag. Get a load of Jon Rahm going all big Bobby Mack on a drone at yesterday's live golf event.
Boy, was he livid.
Nice. When he double-crossed a drive right into the drink.
Oh, this is headed towards the penalty.
Yeah, it's a double cross. Fucking incredible. Right on my backswing. Fucking drones every time.
Allow me to transcribe that, and then we will listen again. Quote, every tournament, it's fucking incredible. Right in my backswing. Fucking drones every time. End quote.
Oh, this is headed towards the penalty.
Yeah, it's a double cross. Fucking incredible. Right on my backswing. Fucking drones every time.
That's like tapping down a spike mark that wasn't in your line after you missed a putt.
Right.
I love being right.
I know you do.
I was calling out Jon Rahm years ago, being like, this guy is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I caught on to it. I saw it for what it is. Don't like him. Don't trust him. Can't coach him.
Cannot coach with him.
He's just slowly, as time goes on, sprinkling that little bit of his soul across the landscape, and everyone's slowly seeing who this guy really is.
Yep.
What an idiot that guy is.
Jon Rahm, ladies and gentlemen, the only guy who can yell at the noise of a drone while standing in front of a sign that literally says, golf, but louder.
It's fucking incredible. Right on my backswing. Fucking drones every time.
I love everything about this clip so much. First off, Jon Rahm blaming anyone or anything besides himself for hitting a double cross is the most Jon Rahm thing ever. Guy isn't just a hothead. He is the very definition of a whiny bitch. That's what he is, and that's what he's always been. So I love the outburst just reminding everyone that Jon Rahm was never worth rooting for. But I also love the outburst just for reminding everyone that Jon Rahm is still alive. Remember when this guy left the PGA Tour for LIV and he was the world's #1 golfer and everyone thought this was going to be game-changing for LIV. Turns out, didn't make one iota of difference. And look, if you listen to this podcast, Ryan and I both said Jon Rahm going to LIV doesn't mean anything. And guess what? We were right again. You have heard from Jon Rahm exactly 4 times since he left for LIV. Once when he finished T45 at the Masters this year. Once when he missed the cut at the PGA Championship. Once when he pulled out of the US Open. And once when he blamed a drone for his god-awful tee shot.
Fucking incredible. Right on my backswing. Fucking drones every time.
This guy is on a milk carton. He is missing. And it takes him yelling at a drone and going viral for complaining about noise at a golf but louder event to get anyone's attention. This might shock the listener, but I am kind of with Jon Rahm on this one. He should not be hearing a drone in his backswing.
Right on my backswing.
Because there is no point of a drone being there. There is no point of any golfers being there either. But there's really no point of a drone being there. The entire purpose of a drone is to show camera footage of an event back to an audience. Here's the issue, folks. There is no audience. So why are there cameras? LIV Golf could fold tomorrow and have ChatGPT write tournament results for the rest of the year, completely make them up with AI, and I would have no idea if they were real or not. Because like everyone else in the entire world, I have never seen it and I never will see it. For all I know, it's fake already. So I'm with you, Rambo. Get rid of the drone, the other cameras, the broadcast crew, the journalists. Let everyone go home. No one would notice because no one notices now.
Fucking incredible. Right on my backswing. Fucking drones every time.
I heard they had a good EDM DJ set after the tournament, though.
A broad daylight EDM set at a golf tournament?
Yeah.
Boy, that just gets people going.
Yeah.
Hand me the Molly and the glow sticks.
Yeah.
Get me a pacifier in my mouth. I'm ready to roll balls at a LIV golf event.
What a time to be alive. Love to see it.
You do love to see it.
You live to see it.
This weekend, I celebrated my 10-year anniversary with my lovely wife, Hasmeen. We got a hotel for the weekend up in Pasadena, the City of Roses, a place we once called home back in 2016 and 2017. Lovely town. We chose Pasadena not just because it's beautiful and there's a lot to do, but because my in-laws live 10 minutes away. So we were able to take the kids to the hotel pool both days and then drop them off after so we could go to dinner and drinks and really tie one on like a couple of adults.
And did you?
Yes, we did. However, boy, we're getting old.
Yeah.
We're getting old.
Well, you look it.
Thank you.
Yeah. She doesn't. You sure do.
Yeah, she's aging in reverse and I'm aging in hyperspeed.
I wonder why. Weird.
Yeah.
At least you put some LA looks in your hair this morning. Nice little messy gel look. Did you get that at your barber shop? What is that salon you go to? Supercuts?
Okay, question for you. When you get to a hotel, do you unpack your clothes out of the bag? And if so, do you put them in the dresser drawers?
My wife does. I do not.
Your wife does. You do not.
Fucking leave them there. Who cares?
In the bag.
Yeah.
You pull out of the bag.
Unless it's stuff that needs to be hung so it doesn't get wrinkled.
Right.
But if it's like socks and fucking chonies and board shorts and whatever, I'm like, leave it.
I unpack and put into the dresser drawers. I have been called a psychopath for this behavior on account of how disgusting hotel rooms are. You might walk into a hotel room and be like, damn, this is nice and clean. And that
I can tell you what, they don't wipe down those dresser drawers.
100%, and never have and never will. There's no way to clean 500 rooms in one day with 2 housekeepers and be wiping down dresser drawers.
No.
I don't know why I do it, but I do. My wife doesn't. So your wife does and you don't. Do you find it psychotic to do that?
I don't know. I just find it a step that doesn't need to be stepped.
Well said. A step that doesn't need to be stepped.
Yeah.
Boy, the velocity of that verbiage was incredible. I want to recap the weekend very quickly because there are some decent stories in here. Friday morning, played golf in Long Beach at 8 in the morning. The idea was play 18 holes, get done by noon, back home by 1, up to Pasadena by 2, in the pool by 3.
And did it work out?
Well, you know the old saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Got to the course early, go to the range because I hadn't played since the powwow in mid-April. My playing partner, Jack Margaros, shows up a few moments later and tells me he locked his keys in his car. Not an ideal start to the day. Now, my dad, and happy birthday, Dad, always raised me under the credo, never leave a man in the field. Essentially, no matter the situation, never leave your friends behind. And the way that applies here is I'm not going to play 18 holes and then peel out of the parking lot while my buddy Jack stands around in 100-degree weather outside his car with his hands in his pockets. Like, see you later. I'm on the way to the pool.
Can't you, like, while you're on 16, call AAA and right when you finish, he's just waiting for you in the lot?
Folks, this is why he's Ryan Engle. This is why he's Ryan Engle.
I'm a problem solver, dude. I would have, just for the sport of it, I would have beat your schedule and I would have gotten in the pool by 2:30.
Let me read verbatim from my notes. I am a proud card-carrying member of AAA, and I tell my friend Jackie Boy, on hole 15, I will give them a call and we'll get someone out here to jimmy the door. So exactly what you had in mind was exactly what I did.
I'm impressed. Maybe I am rubbing off on you.
Yeah, a little preparedness. Now, I have AAA. He doesn't. Keep that in mind.
Don't you have to just show him the card?
Well, that's the whole point. But we'll get there. We play the round, have a great time. I watch my other buddy, Kevin Gagax, just career the piss out of the place. I call AAA on 15, and they arrive right as we walk off of 18. One problem. It's already 1 p.m. I'm an hour late. My family is at home, 25 miles away, just waiting to leave.
Was the play slow?
It was slow. Municipal golf.
God, that place is so slow.
Long Beach.
You played Skylinks?
Yeah.
Is there a tee box that you didn't wait on?
There were, but it was just generally a slow round.
That place is so god-awful slow.
But it's a great track.
Fun. Great? Probably not great, but fun.
Okay. Anyway, I have to be present for the Jimmy job because it's AAA policy that the card holder is around at the time of service.
Well, you're a big Jimmy Job kind of guy.
Luckily, Jack drives an '02 Toyota Corolla. These cars were meant to be broken into. You rub a stick of butter on the windowsill and that thing's going to open up. So the AAA guy jimmies the rig in 10 seconds. Keys are back in Jack's hands. We're good to go. Except this is a tradesman we're dealing with. And tradesmen love to talk about, you guessed it, their trade. Ever call a plumber over to the house to fix something? 100 times out of 100, when they're done, they will stand in your bathroom or your kitchen and tell you exactly how they did it in great detail. They live for this conversation. It's their way of saying, I might fix shitters for a living, but you aren't better than me because you called me. And my take here is, hey guy, I don't want to know. I don't care to know. If I had any interest in fixing this myself, I'd have watched YouTube or went to DeVry for college, but I didn't. So instead, I decided to hand over my money for your service. That's the trade, Mr. Tradesman. I give you money, you do a job, we part ways. I don't need the play-by-play on how you snake the pipe. Just charge my card, get your dirty, big steel toes out of my house. So naturally, the AAA guy told us how he jimmied the rig and how easy it is to get into Toyotas and Hondas. And naturally, he spun some yarn. He really chewed the fat, shot the breeze, jaw-jacked, gum-flapped.
Horse hockey.
So I'm finally hauling ass home 90 minutes later than I wanted to, and still 30 minutes away.
You think Mina was surprised?
You're right about that.
She was counting on you being late.
Nevertheless, not a great look that golf, of all things, is holding up the anniversary weekend. So I get home, and I change like Superman in a phone booth. We're out the door. Now, let it be known, I was supposed to take 2 things on this trip. Nice, dry-cleaned clothes for both dinners, and our good buddy Mike Nolan's golf bag. Mike Nolan, owner of the world-famous Howie's Market, best meat department in Southern California, by the way, run by his brother Scott. Mike Nolan had pulled the trigger and bought the best vintage bag we have ever sold, the red Miller High Life bag with the Bernie Driscoll name on it. And because Mike's Market is up near my in-laws, I knew I'd be there in the near future, so I texted him when he bought it and said, hey man, instead of us paying a fortune to ship it, why don't I just drop it off sometime soon? He agreed because Mike Nolan is the man.
True.
Now, in my haste, which was born out of a slow round and a yapping AAA tradesman, I, of course, forgot to grab my dinner clothes and Mike's bag. So now I'm in Pasadena with swim trunks and flip-flops for an anniversary weekend trip and no golf bag for Mike, who bought the thing a month ago. Oh well, at least I'm 2 hours late for everything. So now I have to go to Target to find something passable to wear.
Target?
That was what was around. Great. Cool. I found 2 button-up shirts, $20 each. Nice. Of course, I leave my 1 pair of sunglasses for the weekend in the fitting room.
You're kidding me.
I kid you not. And they were the electric sunglasses that you just gave me a couple of weeks ago.
You're fucking kidding me. Could you be a bigger yard sale? You are just a yard sale.
Dinner and drinks in downtown Los Angeles. Both amazing. Slightly alarming that my wife and I both fell asleep in the Uber on the way home at 11:17 p.m., and hard to deny that you're getting old when you're so tired at 11 o'clock that you fall asleep in a stranger's car. You know how sketchy it is to fall asleep in an Uber?
You could have got Zodiac to do it.
I used to start my night at 11 p.m. Now I'm falling asleep in Ubers at 11 p.m. But that's where we are, folks. Saturday. Entirely different ball game when you're waking up at your destination. Is there anything better than the first day where you wake up and you're already where you need to be when you're on a trip?
Well, yeah, it's definitely more relaxing than traveling.
Don't you love it?
Sure.
Brunch with our pals Jimmer and Grace, more pool time with the kids, and then dinner at a Japanese steakhouse with an epic walk around Pasadena afterwards. Came back home to Fullerton. The cat had taken 7 different shits on the floor out of spite. I watched the Travelers final round, back 9, falling in and out of sleep in the top dog chair. Went to Target again yesterday just to be in the air conditioning. And then I wrote the podcast in the garage from 9 till midnight. And here we are again, Pards, Monday morning, San Clemente, California, doing the pod.
Wow, what a relaxing weekend that sounded like for you.
It was a lot better than I made it sound. As a writer, entertainer, host, producer, I extract the stuff that will engage the audience. I'm not going to tell them about my nice little time at the Japanese steakhouse looking at my lovely wife where we had champagne and wine and blah, blah, blah. That's boring.
You just did.
Well, I'm explaining to you why I don't do that.
Really?
Really? Did you have a good weekend?
Great weekend. Won a golf tournament.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Casey Quinn.
Yeah, I won it.
Shout out to our friend Casey Quinn. He hosts an annual golf tournament at Lake Forest Park where we have filmed a mustache match video. If you want to see Ryan and I play a one-club match at Lake Forest Park where the loser has to shave their mustache on camera, that is on YouTube. Highly recommend checking it out. What is the name of this tournament? What was the format? Why did you play? Who was Casey Quinn and how did it go?
Casey Quinn is a distinguished nation stalwart and overall great guy. Before I get into the weeds with this incredible event that I've become a part of at just a great course, as you would say, I realized something this weekend in playing with him and his buddies for his birthday. Casey Quinn, and I said it on the 9th tee box, he has top 10, one of my favorite swings.
Oh.
Absolutely gorgeous swinger of the club.
Took you 9 holes to say that?
I was just watching it. I needed to see the body of work. He hit a little 8-iron off the tee on 9, and this guy has a gorgeous swing. So shout out to Casey for that. So he does this little get-together. He has fun with it. He calls Lake Forest Golf Center, the Lake Forest Country Club. He does a master-style invite.
He refers to Lake Forest Center as
the Lake Forest Country Club.
You love to hear that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And he does this like nice formal invite. There was 8 of us. We played as an 8-some. He bought 3 foursomes. So we had a block in there. Wouldn't let us pay. Just a great dude. His babe, Katie, had goodie bags for us. She walked around the course with a backpack full of beer. We played 8 guys at this pitch and putt. Just had a fucking ball. I wasn't trying to win. I just showed up with 1 club and 1 ball, a 54 degree and a golf ball.
Did you putt with the 54 degree?
Yep.
So you bellied a wedge the entire time?
Yep. I had a 5-foot slider down the hill on 9 for bogey because I couldn't get to it in 2. I had to lay up. Drained it 1 by 1. Beat Casey, the birthday boy, with 1 club. And then I realized real quick, I was like, I wasn't trying to be a dickhead, but that was kind of dickheadish. They awarded me the championship sweater, Robert Bruce, Arnold Palmer green cardigan sweater at the bar afterwards. It was a great moment. My daughter and my wife got to see me accept a prestigious award for the Casey Quinn birthday golf tournament at the Lake Forest Championship Golf Links. It made me realize, and we've said this multiple times, I just love executive courses. I love pitch and putts, par 3 golf. It was so fun. Really brings you back to the core of why you even like golf in the first place. Just slapping it around, saying hello to the passersby, just enjoying it. And that place is special. There's a number of holes in there where all you see is nature and foliage. Place is awesome. So we went from there straight to picking up my dog from training camp. He was there for 10 days. We were really excited to pick him up. Then had to do some training with them for about an hour. Then we went straight to my wife's friend's going away party. And then from there we went straight to Hobie Surf Shop in Dana Point to catch a surf movie and a dinner. We didn't stop moving all day on Saturday and we were pooped.
Sounds like a real relaxing weekend.
Well, it was because we had Sunday to look forward to.
Really?
Sat at the beach all day.
Nice.
And then after that, went home, bocha'd up.
What?
Bocha?
Bocha?
That's what the Hawaiians called bathing.
Oh.
Yeah. Took a bocha.
Took a bocha.
And went to Korean barbecue with the family after that and fully sent it. It was a gout mission.
Yep.
And you love to eat it. Long story longer. Won a golf tournament this weekend.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming off of winning your own derby at the Nation Desert Classic.
Both of which had a bellied wedge putt for the win.
That's right.
2 for 2.
2 for 2 on walk-off putts, and you stole a very nice sweater from Casey Quinn.
Yeah, you know.
I want to read you something. It's from the latest issue of 4 magazine. It's very short, but it touches on what you were just talking about, your love of par 3 golf. And this speaks to it. It was in the last issue of 4 magazine.
Did you write it?
No.
Really?
Really. This is really short. Hang on. Just sit tight. Absorb the words for a moment here. It is titled Less Can Be More. Par 3 golf carries a stigma amongst 14 club diehards as some sort of concession. It's what you play when you can't find a tee time at a 6,700-yard track or you simply cannot find the time, period. One might view it as a compromise because once we get a taste of pegging it high and setting out to cover 150 acres over half a day, nothing less will do. This is the mindset of a player who has relegated par 3 golf to merely a launching pad and not the destination. Instead of thinking about what par 3 golf isn't, let's think about what it is. For less money and far less time spent, you get to go flag hunting with every shot regardless of your handicap index. Greens and regulation and birdie opportunities fill up the margins of your scorecard, and you don't have to make a deal with the devil to straighten out your driver because you left it and 9 other clubs in the trunk of your car. I will never get caught dead calling any kind of golf easy, but par 3 golf is certainly easier. Does that make it any less fun, rewarding, or challenging? Of course not. No one, regardless of skill level, has to apologize for having a great time firing wedge after wedge at the wick, and no one needs to feel bad for being completely satisfied with a 9-hole walk where you didn't need a tee or a tee time. Par 3 golf doesn't discount the game, it discounts barriers around the game. A couple of clubs, a couple of bucks, and a couple of hours, if that, is all you need. Par 3 golf isn't a compromise. It is simply proof that less can be more.
I love that.
Written by
Adam Hawk.
Adam Hawk.
I knew it. Little shameless plug. I do love it. And that place is really cool. Right when we finished, I was like, oh, I wish Katie, Kai, and Palmer just like came and
walked with
me.
Sure.
It would have been awesome. What was funny is on 7, you see groups teeing off on the first hole, and there was this group of dudes in their 20s, full bag. They looked serious, had their golf get-ups on, and you're just like, really?
Before we get out, let's pull back the curtain on the inside joke because people have started to hear it the past couple of episodes. Really? Where does the really come from? Who says it? When does he say it? And why do you say it that way?
Our captain of the Wednesday group, the glue to what is Wednesday Fellowship at San Clemente Municipal Golf Course, Mr. Matt Gillis.
Reigning Man of the Year.
Never has a foul or negative thing to say about anyone. But if you ever bring anything towards him in that regard, or that even seems a bit abnormal, his response every time through his mustache. Really?
It's the head tilt too, like a confused dog. Really?
Yeah. It's like, you really just said that? You really want to say that? You really want to go here? Are you really talking about yourself? And then all of a sudden you realize you can use it everywhere.
Anytime.
All the time.
When my kids are flapping their gums, speaking nonsense.
Really? But the person I love using it towards the most.
Yeah.
Is you.
Really?
Oh, man, I watch you do silly stuff all day, and I just look at you and I go, really? It's the best. And we owe it to Matt.
We owe it to Matt, the captain, Captain Gillis, reigning man of the year, because it's so simple, it's so perfect. When someone hits you with, really, it stops you dead in your tracks.
You're like, did I just fuck up?
Yeah, what did I do? And it's one word. There's no swearing. There's no insulting. It's just befuddlement in a deep Tom Selleck voice with a head tilt.
It's very man of the year.
Yes.
Really.
Just for fun, I highly encourage you this week when someone does anything that is a little off-putting, abnormal, stupid, ridiculous, they say something that confuses you, just stop dead, look at them, tilt your head.
Deep. You got to go deep.
Yep. And you got to say, really? Okay. Very good. Thank you so much for listening to The Fellowship. Happy anniversary to my wife. Happy birthday to my dad. And we will catch you next Monday.
Really?